Ladies and gentlemen, no need introduction. Please welcome Elon Musk.
Sorry,
Hi,
we're
Elon.
actually just weirdly.
Not
Hi,
sure.
we had a power outage about 3 minutes before this call. My apologies. That's why I'm like bizarrely in the dark here.
Elon Musk was recently interviewed at a conference part of the G20 Summit in Indonesia. In the interview, he talks about his recent purchase of Twitter and his future plans for the platform. He also discusses developments in his various other companies such as Tesla, SpaceX, and The Boring Company. Elon also opens up about his daily workload and admits that being involved in so many things results in him having too much work on his plate for sure. We'll now continue with the interview. Note that we've added timestamps to the video, so you can skip ahead to a topic of your choice. If you enjoy this type of content, please leave a like on this video. Also consider subscribing to our channel and turning on post notifications. Enjoy the interview.
Elon, you are lucky because you have unprofessional moderator. It's the first time I'm doing it. But I'm sure we're gonna have fun, especially when we wear this shirt.
Great.
Thank you for wearing it. We sent it 15,000 kilometers across the globe.
Thank you. Thanks for this shirt.
Just quick thing, Elon. The batik that you have is from Central Sulawesi, from small village. It is a place where you have a lot of nickels there, so you may like to visit there.
Great.
And they have this ambition to make net zero industrial park with clean energy. So that's why this batik bomba is special. I hope you like it.
It's great. Thank you for this awesome shirt. That's great. I love it.
Yeah. Elon, I know you are a hard worker, but with a lot of headlines that you make lately, if I were you, I would jump on a plane and fly to Bali and kind of like hide a little bit or relax. Why don't you do that?
I mean, that sounds fantastic. But my workload has recently increased quite a lot. I mean, oh man, I have too much work on my plate, that is for sure.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Elephant in the room question, Elon. Of course, Twitter. First, how does it feel to be media mogul? Okay, noted.
It's a little uncomfortable. I'm sort of more like, is Twitter sort of media, but it's not exactly media. I mean, it is a medium as opposed to media. So it's but I mean, it's just because there's no way to make everyone happy. That's for sure.
I see. Now, Elon, we are Twitter nation, fourth largest in the world. A lot of millennials and Gen Z. Even President Jokowi has about 19 million followers. What is the future of Twitter for these developing countries, but already in G20, including the likes Brazil and India? Can you share a little bit?
I think Indonesia has an incredibly exciting, bright future because there's just so much youth and energy, and the population. I think a lot of people in the world don't realize that Indonesia has one of the world's highest populations of any country. So I think the combination of the youth, energy, large population, a lot of resources. I think the future is extremely exciting for Indonesia. So. Yeah, I'm I guess bullish on Indonesia, if you will. I think it's a very, very exciting, bright future.
So there was a thought, I think we interacted a little bit in Boca Chica about Twitter TV. Because over here, information is being disseminated using free-to-air TV antenna to 17,500 islands. Imagine user-generated content, short videos, trending topics. Is it a good idea or bad idea?
No, I think that's a great idea. Twitter for sure, I think, needs to do a lot more on video. And it's kind of a no-brainer to enable a longer video on Twitter and also enable content creators to make a living with content that they submit to Twitter. So Twitter really needs to give a revenue share to content creators in order for them to make a living creating content and having that content be on Twitter.
Oh, great to hear that. Now, let's talk about Tesla. Now, the world is decoupling, Elon, as you know it, right? And of course, with the conflict, Russia-Ukraine, it will make it even worse. This decoupling also make the electric vehicle supply chain separated between the East and West. It looks like it. So they are making separate supply chain. Now, you are a global company, Tesla is, global customers, but gigafactories in China, Germany, and Austin that I thank you for hosting us in. How do you navigate through all of this?
I have to say it's with great difficulty. I mean, I'm really working at the absolute most amount that I can work from morning till night, 7 days a week. So this is not something I'd recommend, frankly. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, but it is. And I'm just looking at this video and it's so bizarre.
Well, you look like you're in a dark place.
I'm sitting here in the dark, surrounded by candles.
I know.
It's so bizarre.
So that's the beauty of being in equator, Elon.
Yeah.
When it's dark there, it's bright here.
Totally.
Hey, Elon, you know, Indonesia has this ambition to be electro state as opposed to petro state. In the past, petro state, but today, electro state, right?
Sure.
So we want to be the Saudi Arabia of decarbonization.
Great.
We have peatland, mangroves, tropical forests, carbon dioxide capture. We also have critical battery materials. We also have potential for renewable energy. How should Indonesia contribute to this stabilizing the EV ecosystem? In your view?
Well, I think Indonesia's making a significant contribution already with the production of critical ingredients for batteries. So nickel, as you mentioned, is a key ingredient in lithium-ion batteries, especially for long-range vehicles. A lot of times people hear the word like lithium-ion battery, but lithium is actually only a few percent of the battery weight, whereas nickel is actually a majority of the battery weight in long-range vehicles, and which will also be essential for aircraft, which require a high energy density battery pack. So I think, and then Indonesia is also doing a lot of renewable energy generation. So, so the combination of sustainable mining, renewable energy generation, and just overall, sort of advancements in internet connectivity and education, I think Indonesia is going to make a great contribution.
Oh, great, thank you. Now, a lot of developing countries are already in G20, like Indonesia, today hosting, and you have India, South Africa, Any thoughts about making a little bit more affordable but still good quality Tesla? Maybe we call it Model I, Indonesia, India?
Yeah, I can't speak too much about the future Tesla product development, except to say that we do think that making a much more affordable vehicle would make a lot of sense, and we should do such a thing.
Great to hear that. So let's go to SpaceX, Elon. So when we went to Boca Chica to see your facility, impressive facility, by the way, right? First, I have never been to Starbase, right? But I overheard some engineers saying that maybe the best place to launch these rockets are from the equator. So
yeah, it's true.
It's true, right?
Yeah,
Indonesia
actually,
has...
like the best would be at like a really tall mountain at the equator.
Okay, mountains on the equator, got it. So Indonesia has 5,000 kilometers of equator. And in fact, our new capital is going to be on the equator.
Cool.
Should we be talking more about launching pads of SpaceX being in Indonesia? And maybe also you can launch some Starlinks. We need some connectivity.
Yeah, absolutely. I think long term it would make a lot of sense to have launch platforms around the world. And I think you could actually even have a situation where you travel by rocket from one part of the world to the next, because then you can travel at over 20 times the speed of sound. So for a rocket can get to the complete other side of the world in 45 minutes, and half sort of to most places in about 20 minutes. So I think that this would really open up the world if you could travel conceivably, to anywhere in the world in less than an hour.
Yeah. By the way, Elon, over here in Indonesia, you are not called Elon Musk. You are called Musk Elon. Musk is brother.
Okay, cool.
Brother Elon.
Thank you.
So Musk Elon, we threw some questions on social media asking, what would you ask Elon if you happen to see him, live? Right? And maybe you have heard this question, but why do you talk so much about sending people to Mars while probably more than half of the people on Earth still think that the world is flat?
Yeah, well, I think it's an exciting future if you can imagine like where we're a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species, and ultimately out there among the stars. And that's just, I find that to just be an incredibly exciting, inspiring future, and to think that one day that such things might happen. And the world, of course, will always have problems, and that we need to solve the problems of Earth. And I think 99% of our effort should be on solving the problems of Earth. But I think 1% of our effort should be on being a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species, because that's just incredibly exciting and inspiring. And there need to be things. Life can't just be about solving problems. There've got to be things that inspire you and that make you glad to be alive and happy to wake up in the morning.
From SpaceX, going back to Earth, Boring Company, we had a chance to go to your facility in Las Vegas. Now, Indonesia and a lot of developing countries, and even developed countries, have a lot of traffic. Are you thinking to do projects of Boring Company in developing country cities, especially maybe using electric buses? So you can solve two things at the same time, traffic and CO2 emission.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like my joke about tunnels is that tunnels are underappreciated. I mean, it's not the best joke in the world, but um, I mean I think the only answer that I can see for congestion in cities is tunnels. Um, I think flying cars are. I mean, I think because of the fact that they generate a lot of noise and a lot of wind, and there's always some possibility that it will fall on your head. Um, and it certainly would not be good for privacy if flying cars were flying over your house all the time. Um, I think, on the other hand, that tunnels do not suffer from any of those issues. And so like you can think of flying cars as like 3D above ground, and tunnels are like 3D below ground. And we have some of our first tunnels with electric vehicles operating in them in Las Vegas. So I'd encourage anyone who visits Las Vegas to try them out. And it sounds so simple, but electric vehicles in tunnels are absolutely an answer to the worst possible congestion of any city, because you can go as many layers of tunnels deep as you would like until the traffic congestion is addressed.
Great. Thank you. We're getting to the end of the interview, so I'm going to try to take advantage of it.
Sure.
The right questions to ask for the millennials and Gen Zs. We have 70% of the Indonesian population. They are in that category. What are the great questions to ask today, looking at the next 20 years? Because in 20 years, Elon, Indonesia wants to be in golden era in 2045, 100 years of the independence. What are great questions to ask?
You asked me what are the great questions to ask?
Yeah. What should be they ask? What they should be asking?
You think about that.
Well, we are not millennials and Gen Z, so that's okay, I guess.
Well, I think one of the questions to ask is, what future do you want? Like, what is the good future? I mean, I think one where civilization is growing and the scope and scale of consciousness are growing along with it is a great future. Obviously one where we transition to sustainable energy, because the counterpoint is unsustainable energy. The faster we can transition to a sustainable energy economy, the better. But we will transition to a sustainable energy economy. Just a question of how long it takes. And then I think just furthering human knowledge so we can understand the nature of the universe and our place in it, and how we got here, and I don't know, the meaning of life. And as I said earlier, going and exploring other star systems, and maybe we'll find, alien civilizations, or discover alien civilizations that existed millions of years ago, may no longer exist, but we see the ruins of ancient civilizations. I think that would be incredibly interesting, just to, go out there and explore the galaxy.
I see. Thank you. And probably the last question. You are a true global citizen, born and raised in South Africa, made it well in America, becoming global entrepreneurial hero. We are here in Southeast Asia. So what should the next, and maybe better, Elon Musk of the East be focusing on in the next 10 years? Because a lot of people in this room, they want to be Elon Musk of the East. Why not, right?
Well, I mean, I'd be careful what you wish for. I'm not sure how many people would actually like to be me. They would like to be what they imagine being me, which is not the same as actually being me. mean, the amount that I torture myself is like next level, frankly. But I mean, I think like if anyone who does something like useful, like builds products or provides services that are of use to our fellow human beings, is doing a good thing. So that's I'll just say, like, maximize your usefulness and value to the rest of humanity. Yeah, I mean, that's it really. Yeah.
Well, Elon, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
And one more thing, Elon. When we started this session, we started with Elvis song. A little less conversation and a little bit more action, please. And you certainly have done that. Even in the middle of the night, you just put on candles to save energy. So thank you for appearing in front of us.
This is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I'll see you soon.